be ready to go when they are. Everybody ready to go? Okay, you bet. Got it. Okay, sound good? Okay. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Gary Giles. I'm the Chief of Police of the Orem Police Department. Today I want to talk to you about an incident that we had at the Mountain View High School this morning. At 7:47 a.m. we received some calls of multiple stab wounds at the school. Our school resource officer was actually at the school. He was preparing to teach a law enforcement class when he also received calls from staff members that there were several stab wounds and someone with a knife in the boys' locker room downstairs. Our school resource officer responded very quickly and was able to find staff members who had already placed themselves in harm's way, had already boxed the suspect into a corner of the locker room. The suspect still had a knife at that time. Our school resource officer, as well as other responding officers, were able to get there, and they tased him and were able to take him into custody. The suspect is a 16-year-old from Orem, a 16-year-old male from Orem, who is also a student at Mountain View High School. In total, we had 5 student victims, with stab wounds to the neck and upper torso. Also, the suspect had self-inflicted stab wounds to himself. At this time, we don't know a motive for the stabbings. This is still under investigation. We still actually have officers at the high school. They'll be there for most of the day. And we also have officers at other locations investigating and trying to piece this all together. At this time, I'd like to thank all of the officers and dispatchers from the Orem Police Department who responded very quickly and very efficiently to get to the school, to our school resource officer who was already on scene and responded very quickly, also to the Orem Fire Department, the Provo Fire Department, Utah County Sheriff's Office, Utah Highway Patrol, Provo Police Department, and Utah Valley Police Department, as well as Linden Police Department, for all of their quick response as well. With me up here, and I'm sorry I didn't introduce them in the first place, to my left, we have Kimberly Bird, who is a spokesperson for the Alpine School District. I'm going to turn some time over to her in just a moment. And on my right is Captain Ned Jackson with the Orem Police Department. At the conclusion of this press conference, we'll take a few questions. We don't have a lot of answers for you right now. Being juveniles, we will not be releasing any names of the suspect nor the victims. But had it not been for the quick reaction of the high school staff, the school resource officer, and our fire department, the situation certainly could have been much worse. I'm going to turn the time over to Kimberly Bird with Alpine School District first of all, and then I'll come back for any questions.
Thank you, Chief Giles. First, on behalf of the Alpine School District, we're extremely upset and saddened about this incident. However, very grateful to have on hand a full-time resource officer at the school. Our partnership with Orem City is so critical to us, and we're so appreciative that we're able to have that resource daily in our schools. We're thankful for him diffusing the situation, which could have been much, much worse. We're also grateful for our Mountain View High School staff who acted quickly and appropriately. This was taken care of just within a few minutes. Also, we're thankful to Orem City's police department, paramedics, fire, and all of the other agencies who have responded. Mountain View High School is known as a school that has much community and culture to it. This is very upsetting as we look as a school district on things that, what can we do in these types of situations, or how could we have had more supports, or could we have seen something in this particular student? I want to share with you that sometimes these things are things that are unseen. This is a new student at Mountain View High School, a new sophomore, straight A student, attends regularly, and no prior discipline issues. So these are very, very difficult things that the faculty and staff, administration, and district will go back, we will debrief, we will think about, okay, what things do we have in place? Are we aware of You know, do we have the best training for detecting mental illnesses within students in our school? This school has a Hope Squad that is a very strong and running group of kids who help students that are in need. They also have a Bruin crew and who have won awards for helping navigate students through their high school experience. So though this is devastating for that community, this is a school with great supports. We have a full-time social worker on hand at Mountain View High School daily. We also have great counselors and a wonderful staff. So though we are so saddened by this situation and incident, we know that we're going to go back, debrief with the faculty, and make sure that we are doing our best to have proper training and safeguards at our school. Another question that's come up recently is, why did we keep the school in session? And our answer in doing such is that the scene was secured by the police department so quickly. And we also know that school is a safe place for kids to be, and that we have resources there for kids to use and utilize. Sometimes when we push kids home, we don't know what's home and available for as a resource to them. So that was part of our decision in maintaining the school day for the students there. Of course, many, we would say a good majority of the students did get checked out by their parents, and we totally respect that, and we expected that, but we wanted to make sure that we had resources available to children. Finally, we do want to make sure everyone is aware that school will be regularly in session tomorrow as scheduled. And we just I guess our last comment would be our thoughts and prayers go out to these students and their families, as well as the Mountain View High School community. A great community, but a very, very sad situation. Thank you.
We'll get to questions in just a minute. A couple things that I forgot to address also was the condition of students. I don't have any information on the condition. All of the parents at this point have opted for privacy, and so we don't have anything to release other than at the time of our last release, they ranged from critical to fair condition. All of the students that were injured were taken to local hospitals, and we'll release any information when that becomes available and when parents decide if they want to release that information as well. One of the things, as far as the school and the school's decision to leave students able to stay there at the school, I think that worked out very well with the police department. The crime scene was very isolated at one end of the school, and it was something that we were able to maintain away from the students, and that was a decision that was made by the school district to go ahead and give the option to those students. And that was something that as a police department we could easily maintain the crime scene away from any students. So at this time we will take a few questions, but again, not too many.
Tell us more about the staff. You said they moved in to defuse the situation. What did they do?
Right now I don't have details on the exactly what they did, but we did have some of the staff members that actually had boxed the suspect into a little bathroom area within the locker room. And so we have the locker room area where a lot of the stabbing had taken place. Somehow, when the suspect went into that area, they actually contained him in there. He still had a knife at the time, so those staff members did place themselves in harm's way to keep that suspect from coming back out with the students.
We're hearing that maybe there was some of the other students who got stabbed may have been trying to break up the original fight. Do we know if the suspect went after one student or went after all of them?
That I have no information on. I haven't heard anything about an initial fight, so that's the first I've heard of that.
Can you clarify the injuries?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Clarify the injuries?
The injuries range from, or mostly stab wounds to the neck and torso area of the victims. Again, I don't know how severe each of the injuries are right now. We aren't getting a lot of information. They're still being treated at the hospital, and parents have opted for privacy in that right now.
We heard suspect's injuries. We heard the suspect also.
The suspect, there was a self-inflicted stab wound to the neck area. And again, at this point, I don't have anything I can release on that. He was transported to a local hospital.
Do we know if that was intentional, maybe accidental?
At this point, I don't know. All we know is that it was self-inflicted.
And what's his condition?
Again, I don't know. He was transported to a local hospital, and at this point, I haven't heard that his parents are allowing the release of information for that.
Going forward, is there a plan to add another school resource officer or additional security in Mountain View?
I'd have to turn that over to the school district.
You know, we really don't have many incidences that occur like this. I'm sure it'll be a conversation piece, but the one resource officer that we did have available was able to respond very quickly and diffuse the situation. So I don't know that that's been part of our conversation, but certainly we'll continue to debrief also with Orem City. But we haven't looked at that as an option.
Let me actually point out also on the time frame. At 7:47 a.m. is when we received a phone call to our dispatch center. At that point, officers were dispatched and were arriving on scene within minutes. The entire incident was over by 7:53. When we say over, the suspect was taken into custody by 7:53, so 6 minutes later. So there was actually a 6-minute time between the time the phone call into dispatch and the suspect being taken into custody. And so when you think about that kind of a response time, that's amazing. That really is an amazing response time. Our school resource officer was there in the school, and we also had other Orem City police officers that were arriving on scene. We had the fire department there within just a few more minutes, and we're treating the victims at that point.
I don't know whether at 7:47, is that a first period class? Is this a practice that happens before they
Do you want to answer that?
Yep, this was getting ready for a PE class, which begins around 7:30 start time.
And the question had come out, and then I'll get right to you, sorry. The question had come out, what kind of weapon was it? It appeared to be about a 3-inch blade knife. I'm not sure exactly any more than that. Hang tight, you got a question right here he's been waiting for.
What can you tell us about, was this a random attack where 5 students were stabbed, or was there one student who was attacked and these other students came in to try and provide aid? I mean,
And that we don't know right now. We did have quite a few witnesses that have given us statements. We haven't been able to sort through those statements yet. At this point, we have no idea for motive. I personally haven't heard anything about an initial fight or anything like that. So at this point, we're still trying to sort through all of the witness statements. Obviously, right off the bat, we isolated a lot of the witnesses, got their names, information, their stories, and now we're going to have to go back and sort through those and see what we think may have been a motive. But there's a lot of different things that we need to look at for a motive to this whole thing. Is it a fight? Is it somebody that's upset at somebody? Is there more to it? And I don't know the answer to that right now.
so no school teachers or staff members were injured in this?
No, they were not.
Was the officer the first person to confront the aggressor? Was the officer the first person to go in?
No, high school staff members had already, like I say, boxed him into a bathroom area, or just a kind of a little small room within the locker room. They had actually confronted him and boxed him into that area. And so the suspect was actually contained within that area when the school resource officer arrived. And then he was able to confront him from there. And like I say, at that point, he did use a taser and did tase him and was able to get the knife away from him and take him into custody at that time. Any high school staff members? I don't know at this point. That's still something we're going to have to dig through. We have witness statements and all of the statements from those staff members, but we haven't been able to dig through those yet.
Were those staff members PE teachers who were already there?
Again, I'm not sure. I believe that they were, but I don't know.
Safe to say, you think there may be a lot of witnesses? I mean, is this 30 people in the locker room? Is it 20?
Well, obviously, there were a lot of students in there getting ready for a PE class, and so how many, I couldn't estimate a number as far as 30. I don't know, but yes, there were some students in there getting ready for the PE class, so I'm sure that we have at least several different students that were witnesses. We did take statements from quite a few, but I don't have the exact number.
You mentioned the student was new. How new? Where did he come from? And what else do we know about him?
Only that he has previously been homeschooled and just joined Mountain View High School this year as a sophomore.
Did he join at the beginning of the year?
Is it white, Hispanic?
I don't have an answer to right now.
Yeah, Caucasian.
How can the school work towards finding weapons in students? Is this usual? I mean, parents feeling that a student brought a knife,
Sure.
they should be aware of that. How are you guys going to work, from now forward to protect the students and make sure that they don't bring weapons?
Yeah. And we expect this question definitely, do we need metal detectors now at our schools? And our initial response, which I think many would think this, is we don't want our schools looking and feeling like prisons. However, there is an issue today with students and bringing weapons of some kind. And that's something that we're going to have some serious conversations in regards to. And that would include the school administration, the district, as well as the parent leadership for that particular community. We hate the idea of having metal detectors in our schools just for the look and feel. And yet, it is our kids' safety is our most important priority in the work that we do. So we've got to make sure that in order to have learning occur, we have to have safe environments and safe schools. So it will be something that we will talk about. I don't know where we will go with that, but it'll definitely be top on our priority of discussion.
You guys implement something that has been implemented in LA, East Coast, where having shootings in other schools. Have you guys looked at those possible ways to prevent that from happening again?
No, we have not, and we have been fortunate to not have as many situations or issues here. However, I'm going to share with you that metal detectors will not stop issues like this from happening. This could have happened in the parking lot. It could have happened in the entrance just before you go into the school. And I think that's what's sad about this whole situation. We've got a larger community issue here that we need to take care of and address, and I don't know that there's just an easy answer. It will take a lot of conversations and discussions with a lot of key stakeholders as we move forward on this. But thank you for the question. We are expecting to have a conversation about it.
Can you confirm the victims? We spoke with two parents, and we know that there's two Hispanics. Can you confirm the other three with caution?
At this point, we can't confirm any of that. One last question.
Can you explain why this young man was taken away in a gurney, strapped in a gurney? That's according to witnesses.
That I don't know.
Had he suffered any mental illness in the past, or is there
Again, we're still in the initial stages. He's a juvenile. We haven't had a chance to talk to him nor his parents. At this time, the investigation is still preliminary with him. We have no idea what his motives were. We have no idea what his history was. At this point, we're just trying to piece this all together, and hopefully at some point within the next few days, we can have some answers to that.
Did he use a stick at all? Several students mentioned the stick before the night.
At this point, I'm still not sure where that may have come into play. So that I don't know either. So
I don't have any information as such.
Beverly, can you tell us how the parents were notified of this and how you were able to communicate to parents what had happened and procedures for them to come pick up their students at the school?
The parents were notified as quickly as possible, and again, we are so thankful for Orem City and the police department because they were helpful in helping us to do that, but they were notified as soon as possible. Administration gathered, a couple of members with Orem City Police Department and began going through the names and contacting parents immediately around the 8 o'clock, 8:15, as soon as they could.
as soon as we get more information, we will get a hold of you through our PIO. I don't have a time frame on exactly what that will be as far as being able to contact some of the parents, find out what conditions some of the victims are in, and again, the investigation is still ongoing at several different areas where we're trying to find a motive for the whole situation. So I don't have a time frame for you, but we will get a hold of you as the press through our public information officer and let you know if we're going to have another press conference or if we can just release that information to you. All right. Thank you very much. We had so many outside agents coming to help us out. We're still having to
proceso. Usted dijo que no quieren pasar de una línea de tener detectores digitales, pero si es necesario van a tener que hacer eso. What's that?
No, not if you're 2 minutes late. You got everything out. You got the night out.
Okay. Una condición segura tanto maestros. Les repito, acaba de finalizar la conferencia de prensa donde se habló cuando se venden 5 estudiantes de la escuela Mountain View High School en la ciudad de Orem fueron apuñalados con heridas en el cuello y dorso. Cuello y dorso. También se sabe que el agresor también tiene una herida en el cuello. No sabemos si fue a propósito se la hizo o al resultado de forcejeo con los estudiantes. No podemos confirmar eso. También la situación de salud de los estudiantes es, unos lo mencionó de crítica.
So I'm just going through my comments trying to. Somebody put a name,
Yeah, there was somebody said my buddy.
so I'm trying to find so I can delete it.
Vamos a poner aquí la cámara donde medios de comunicación. Bueno, esto fue la conferencia de prensa en la ciudad de Orem, en el edificio del ayuntamiento, donde se tienen más detalles del incidente donde 5 estudiantes.
Comments trying to make sure people are putting names. So we went live on YouTube or on Facebook.
It's funny because my daughter, who's in Texas,
This guy was I just got mad.
my daughter in Texas goes. It's like, wow, so it's clear out there somewhere.
So yeah, look, here you go. You can kind of see